This week we're going to take another pass at Void Warlocks as I started running the Nothing Manacles this week and I've had a ton of fun, so I threw together a build that hopefully you guys will enjoy. So real quick, just want to say again, thank you everybody for the support on the channel. It has been absolutely amazing to see. So like, comment, and subscribe if you want to keep seeing the content, and let's have a quick word from our sponsor. The exotic that's going to be the focus for this build, like I said earlier, is going to be Nothing Manacles, which comes with the exotic perk Scatter Charge. You gain an additional scatter grenade charge and enables tracking for your scatter grenade projectiles. This exotic is extremely simple. You gain a second scatter grenade charge, and they now have tracking from Chaos Accelerant, which gives us no added benefit when we run Chaos Accelerant, so which means when we get to our class setup, it's obvious which two aspects we're going to pick, not Chaos Accelerant. Also, I've heard people say, and I even looked this up, that this exotic is bugged with the tracking, but while testing this build for the past few days before making this video, I had no real problems with the tracking unless I threw my grenades too far, and I also didn't notice them detonating before they hit any targets. Now, that is my experience with this particular exotic and this build setup. I'm not saying that you're going to have the same exact experience if this bug does exist. It was just something I noticed that I didn't fully experience the bugs that everybody else says is going on with this. Now, those could be old and already been patched out and could just be old news, but I thought I would just throw that in there just in case, because again, I don't keep up fully with the patch notes, and I don't think Bungie does either, so again, just something I noticed, and hopefully that's been fixed. The weapon I use with this build is going to be Fighting Lion, which comes with the perks Delayed Gratification. Grenade projectiles will bounce off surfaces, fire, and release to detonate, as well as Thin the Herd. Direct hits do more damage to combatant shields. Dealing damage increases reload speed. Rapid final blows against grenade damaged combatants refill the magazine, and its catalyst that gives it Chimera. After this weapon fires, equipped kinetic and power weapons gain a brief period of increased handling and accuracy. This is a primary grenade launcher that works like most other breach loading grenade launcher with its fire and hold and release to detonate effect. And with this being a grenade-based build, we can also take pretty fair advantage of Thin the Herd, giving us our weapon to reload when we defeat a damaged target from one of our grenades. Scatter grenades are really good at potentially hitting multiple targets without killing them, so we can take pretty good advantage of this. And this weapon is bugged or something because it is doing absolutely absurd damage to red bar enemies, up to 200,000 damage. The most that I saw in my play testing was up to like 181,000, but it is absolutely absurd. You can just mow through red bar enemies, including higher end contents. I've seen this done in Grandmasters. Now, odds are this is a bug, so if it does get fixed and you don't want to use Fighting Lion anymore, any other void weapon will work very well with this build, especially things with Demolitionist. Demolitionist plays a very large part into this build, hence why in the gameplay my submission also had Demolitionist, because again, Demo is very good for any grenade based build. As for artifact, we're running the standard stuff for a void grenade based build, starting with our grenade and void authorization unlocks. This is going to make it so we can stack the grenade and void mods and get more out of them. We're also going to take a volatile flow, so our void weapons get volatile rounds after picking up an orb of power. Fighting Lion is void, so it will get these volatile rounds, making it better than it already is. We're also going to take bricks from Beyond, so we have a chance to make heavy ammo from defeating targets with our void weapons. This works with any type of void weapon, whether it be primary, special, or heavy. We also have void weapon channeling, so we can get some extra damage from our void weapons when we have void abilities charged. Again, this will also make Fighting Lion even better. I also ran Shatter Orbs, so when we break void shields, we get an orb of power to feed into the rest of our build. As for the class setup, as I mentioned earlier with Nothing Manacles, our scatter grenades will get the bonus from Chaos Accelerant, and it doesn't stack, meaning we can run Child of the Old Gods, cast your Rift to create a Void Soul. When you damage a target with your weapon, your Void Soul flies to them and drains them, doing damage and weakening them. When a target is being drained, you are granted grenade and melee energy if running a Healing Rift, or health if running an Empowering Rift. Defeating a target who is being drained by your Void Soul also grants class ability energy. We'll be using Healing Rift so we can get some grenade and melee energy back when our Child of the Old God is draining targets, meaning we'll be able to throw more grenades while it is active, and when we defeat said targets, we will also get class class ability energy, so this way we can then feed back into another child of the old god. We will also run Feed the Void. Defeat a target with a void ability to activate Devour. While Devour is active, final blows restore health and extend Devour. This will give a bunch of survivability, as we will get health back every time we defeat a target, and we will also get grenade energy back every time we defeat a target, meaning we can get even more grenades to throw to then feed back into Feed the Void. As for our fragments, we're going to start with Echo of Undermining. Your void grenades now weaken targets with a -22 discipline. Now this has a huge hit to discipline stat, however from the extra energy we get back from Child of the Old God and Devour alongside our armor mods, this won't be so bad, and we can easily weaken our targets with those tracking projectiles from our scatter grenades. We're also going to run Echo of Starvation. Picking up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power grants Devour with a -10 to recovery. We'll have many different ways to make Orbs of Power with this build. We can have a constant uptime on Devour to help with our health and our grenades. Echo of Persistence. Void buffs applied to you, Invisibility, Overshield, and Devour have an increased duration with another -10 to our recovery. This will just give us more time with Devour, so this way we can keep it up longer and keep it going longer. This way when we're going in between encounters, whether that be in a strike or raid or basically anything in the game, we will have more time with our Devour, so this way we can have more time to get it going again and give us more health and grenade energy back when we get those kills. Finally, we have Echo of Expulsion. Void ability final blows cause targets to explode with a +10 to Intellect. When we do get a final blow from our grenades, it will cause those targets to explode, giving us some extra ad clear. Now, next season, I would go for Echo of Instability instead in order to keep your volatile rounds for this build, because again, volatile rounds are extremely good, and we're getting all of our volatile rounds currently for this build off of our seasonal artifact. So when the season goes away, we will then have to get our volatile rounds back the hard way, doing it ourselves. Moving on to our armor, we have double ashes to assets. This is a grenade heavy build. We want to help get our super back all the time with our grenade defeats. Also, there was a patch that went out, I believe it was like last week or something like that. It was in their patch notes they didn't include, that they posted on Twitter, and it said something about ashes to assets and hands-on not stacking. That means that they don't stack with each other. You can still double stack these mods and get the benefit of the depreciated values that they would get for stacking more than one. You just can't have ashes to assets and hands-on at the same time, especially targeting our hunter, grenade, grapple builds, but you can still stack ashes to assets and you can still stack hands-on together, just not separately. I also ran one Void Siphon so we can get Orbs of Power with our Fighting Lion to feed into our build. Arms, we're running Firepower so we can make orbs with all the grenades we are throwing, and we will run 2 Grenade Kickstarts so we can consume our armor charge to get some grenade energy back, allowing us to keep a steady supply of grenades, meaning we can also then keep a steady supply of Devour and other abilities that we have going on. For chest, we just have Charged Up so we can get more stacks of armor charge to feed into Grenade Kickstart. I also ran resist mods, but you can run whatever you want in place of them if you would like. For our legs, we're going to run stacks on stacks in order to get more armor charges from our Orbs of Power to then feed into Grenade Kickstart some more. I also ran double Innervation so we can get more grenade energy back from picking up orbs. I wish I would have changed this out for Insulation to get extra class ability energy back instead of grenades, because I felt as though this was lacking in class ability energy to throw out more Childs of the Old Gods, which was extremely beneficial for getting our grenade and our melee back. Of course, then also getting more ability when we defeat those targets that are getting drained. So for the final part of this build, I would rather run Installation over Innervation, so keep that in mind. And finally, on our bond, we have Reaper, so when we get a kill after placing our Rift, we can make an Orb of Power, and I ran double Bomber just to get that extra grenade energy. These were more helpful than Innervation, so I would keep these. Again, swap out Innervation for Installation, and this build is going to feel really, really good. With that, that is the end of our build video. I've been having a ton of fun with this build. It's over the past week or two. It was really fun to play with because I've never really played with Nothing Manacles. Every time I would get one, I got a very bad roll. I think the first one I ever got was like a 52, and then I got like a 58. And then I finally landed on these 62s that I have. They're still not the best, but they are definitely far better than the ones that I've gotten in the past. So I decided to make a build with them, and they're really fun to use. Scatter grenades are super good inside of PvE, and they're one of my favorite grenades to use outside of using vortexes with controverse holds. So with all of that, again, that is the end of the video. So I hope everybody likes, comments, and subscribes, as again, it helps me out a ton. The Grandmaster that is this week, I don't know if it's Glassway or Hypernet Current. Either way, whichever one it is, will be out on Thursday. So of course, subscribe and turn your notifications on if you're looking forward to that. And I will see you guys in the next video.